This is a computer from 2008, which means this computer is over 15 years old now. This one is called the Gateway, specifically the E1 Vision by AMD. And in this video, we're going to be completely transforming this thing so we can game on it. But let's go ahead and open this thing up to see what exactly we're working with. Some of you might notice these actually aren't my hands. That's because this is my friend's build, and I helped him along the way, but we wanted to share it on the channel. Let's go ahead and see what he's got. Opening it up was super simple, apparently, just like any other build nowadays. And as you can see, this thing comes with a 500GB hard drive, so we're gonna pull that out for later. By the way, look at the size of the CPU cooler. This thing was not designed to handle today's gaming. As usual, turning the PC on its side is gonna make things so much easier because we gotta get that motherboard out. In order to do that, of course, we gotta start unplugging everything. And this part is actually surprisingly simple considering this thing is 15 years old. I was expecting the PC to put up a fight, and I don't know how much RAM I was expecting to be in here, but it only came with 4GB. So he's just gonna go ahead and remove these two RAM sticks. And then this is actually our first upgrade for the PC. Luckily, RAM this old is very cheap on eBay nowadays. So we went ahead and bought two 4GB sticks of RAM. So he's gonna go ahead and add these to our build. By the way, so many of you are always asking me for pre-built PC recommendations. So go ahead and check the description if you're interested in some of those. At this point, we've upgraded our RAM and got everything unplugged. So all we gotta do is unscrew the motherboard from the case so that we can go ahead and take it out. I know it sounds weird, but I'm kind of surprised that it's the exact same procedure as builds from nowadays too. Finally, he's able to take the motherboard out from the old case. And this is the new case that we'll be putting all these parts into. This thing was only $35 and it actually looks very nice. I feel like this fits our build perfectly since it doesn't have a glass side panel, nothing too special or crazy. When we open it up, you'll notice that there's not that much space in here, but honestly, I don't mind at all. Put it on its side so we can go ahead and put the motherboard in. Luckily, this motherboard is standard, so all of the holes line up perfectly with the case. And now we've just got to screw in a couple of these screws. He forgot to put the IO shield on the motherboard before screwing it in. Classic mistake. In this case, we're going to be upgrading the power supply as well. 450 watts is overkill, but we got it at an amazing price. And the only reason we're upgrading it is because the one it comes with is way too small. But this part is super simple. Now that we've got it in the case, we've just got to screw these 4 screws. And now we're good to go, nice and secure. We need to connect everything to the motherboard just as it was with the old setup, but this time with the new case's cables. Thankfully, it was super simple since the motherboard is standard. Now we can go ahead and connect our hard drive that we took out earlier. Of course, an SSD would be faster, but this is fine. If you've watched my recent videos, you're probably tired of this graphics card. This is the WX2100, but we got these for $25 each, which is a great deal. All we've got to do now is install these case fans so it looks cooler. Of course, we're gonna have to use an RGB controller because a motherboard this old does not support RGB. Our build is now complete. Of course, we need to do a little bit of cable management, but this thing looks way better with the new case. And when we turn it on, it's gonna look so much better with the lights. I don't know about you guys, but I really like the way this build looks. This thing has came a long way from how it was a while ago, and it looks even better with the side panel on. Now let's go ahead and run some games. I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea what to expect. But as you can tell, these games are actually running pretty smooth. Obviously, I'm not going to recommend you go out and buy a 15-year-old PC just to play games on it. The upgrades on this thing cost more than the PC itself. This was just a cool little project to see what games we could run and make the PC look a little nicer. It's pretty cool to see that this thing is able to run some older games as well as, like Minecraft and easier to run games like that. This thing would actually be pretty good for emulating games too. Of course, you can watch movies, browse the web, simple tasks like that aren't way too demanding. I think it's pretty cool that we were able to bring this 15-year-old computer back to life, so now it won't just be there collecting dust. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a sub.